Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to another exciting episode of the Third Impact Anime Podcast. I am the host, Austin, here back because I wasn't on the last episode. Unfortunately, I had to miss that one because of probably work. I don't exactly remember, but in the last episode, Tobias and Sully and Bill all got together, sat around the internet fire, and talked about Tokyo Godfathers, one of my personal favorite anime Christmas movies. So I hated to miss that one, but I'm back this week, and I've got a whole bunch of the team here with me, and we're all going to talk about our most recent convention experience at Ichibancon in Concord, North Carolina. This past week.
Concord?
Yes, Ryan, Concord. A conversation about a con in Concord.
I heard you like cons.
I do like con. So we're just gonna go around the internet table here a little bit and talk about our different experiences and things related to Ichibancon and guests and panels and the venue and all sorts of stuff. Because we did a lot. This was a very big con for us. We were super busy. But I guess I'll go around and tell you guys who all is in this podcast episode because we got a pretty hefty lineup. First, we got Ryan with us. How's it going, Ryan?
I will not apologize for that pun.
I would never expect you to.
Because I do not apologize for art.
As you shouldn't.
Yeah.
How's it going, Ryan?
I'm good. I don't have to go into work tomorrow.
Woo!
Because of a giant snowstorm that just blew through North Carolina. So instead, I'm going to be sitting on my bed like I did today, continuing to watch The Simpsons.
Excellent. And then we have Tori with us.
Hi.
How's it going, Tori?
I'm good. Not packing.
You should be. Tori has a grand adventure that happens very soon.
We're sacrificing her to the mouse on Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for the unknowing audience, Tori, what does that mean?
I'm going to the Disney College program. I'm leaving on Sunday, the 21st, and I'll be gone for like 5 months. But
you're gonna go down to Orlando and conquer the anime convention scene.
Yeah, I already have some kind of bookmarked that hopefully I can get off for at least one day to go check out. But yeah, so I'll be in Orlando for like 5 months, but still, participating here.
I'm already crying.
Please don't.
Well, he kind of is contractually obligated to cry a little bit.
Yeah.
I'd like to think I'm at least a little bit more genuine than that, but
You'd like to think it.
Exactly. How's it going, John?
I was going pretty good. Can't complain. Got a 2-hour delay, so I still have got to go into work tomorrow. But that hasn't stopped me from enjoying the snow today. So
good. I'm glad you were a cold boy out there in that snow.
Yes, I was, and that's partially why I was kind of late to the party here today. So
no, you're fine. So was I. I couldn't get my mic to work, but that's beside the point. How are you, Marissa?
Oh, hi. Also having a 2-hour delay tomorrow. Hoping we don't open, but we probably will because children need something to do when school is out.
But this is its 9th year. Did I already say that? Anyway, and all of us have been to Ichibancon before. Some of us in more larger capacities than others. Some of us have been going for longer. But this is a really busy year for us. We all were doing a lot of stuff, and I guess we'll just go around the table and talk about our experiences with various different things. But before that, on the day that Ichibancon started, we announced just a small little giveaway that we were doing on the Facebook page, facebook.com/thirdimpactanime. This is the first of probably many giveaways that we will be doing between now and always, I hope. So we got a couple people that followed the giveaway guidelines, and we wanted to go ahead and announce our winner of that giveaway. And if everyone could give me a drum roll, please.
That just sounds like a bunch of banging.
Terrible banging.
The winner of our giveaway, which is a sealed Blu-ray copy of, you can stop drum rolling now. It is a a sealed Blu-ray copy of Cowboy Bebop the movie. Our winner is Omar Lee Garcia. Congratulations, Omar.
Yay!
Woo!
And we will be announcing you winning on our Facebook page and on Twitter. And I'll send you a private message on Facebook as well. And then we can work out the logistics to get this thing shipped to you. And thanks for liking our page. We really appreciate it. And I hope you enjoy Cowboy Bebop the movie. It's a really cool flick.
It's a really great series as well. If you haven't watched the series, just do it.
Yes, please. It's an awesome series. As I kind of did almost a whole panel on at Ichibancon, but I'll talk about that in a minute. So I guess going around, Ryan, you've been to Ichibancon before.
Yeah.
But how did this, I guess, in sort of a vague sense, how did this particular one differ from the times you had gone before?
Well, not even just for me. This one was different as a whole because normally Ichibancon falls around New Year. So it's literally the last and first con of the year. But this year, because New Year, I think, was on like a Monday or a Tuesday, it wasn't this year. So we didn't actually go until the second week of January, which was annoying for me at first because I was like, I just asked off for a lot of time at work. I'm not going to be able to get it. So I actually didn't even think I was going to be going until last Monday when my coworker reminded me, hey, what are you going to do on Martin Luther King Day? And I was like, wait, that's next week. And so I was like, wait a minute. I can actually go because I won't be dead for work on Monday then because I won't have work on Monday. So, without telling any of these people except for Austin, I packed my bags and drove down after work on Friday. And that alone was a journey because it started raining really hard and I hit construction traffic around Kannapolis, which anybody who knows Kannapolis has been in a state of construction for the past like 8 years.
Do not talk to me about that road, Ryan.
Yeah.
So many times driving home and back to UNCG.
Oh, yeah. So getting there was fun enough. I get there and I had bought an anonymous mask online because I like Guy Fawkes and I like V for Vendetta. And I didn't want anybody to see me before I wanted them to see me.
Nerd.
So, yeah. So it was a nice like ceramic mask. And I had that on. I had my green hoodie on, walked through, got my badge, all that jazz. I walk over towards the general area. I knew they were because Tobias had a panel around that time. I think I got there around 6:00 and his panel was just letting out. So I walk over to that general area and I just happen to see the entire group huddled around in a circle. So instead of being a normal person, walking up to them and saying, hey, surprise, I'm here. Love me. God. I walked up to John and very firmly gripped his behind with the force of 1,000 suns. So, naturally.
And I can speak for the group when everybody was concerned that somebody had just randomly started molesting me in the middle of the full
mind you, I was the only one facing out into the hallway because I really don't like to have my back turned to a large amount of people. And so I see this person in this getup walk up, grab John, and I'm just like, I think my jaw actually dropped.
It did, yeah.
Yeah, and I was just like about to, swing a punch to defend John's honor, and then you take the mask off, and you're like, "Oh, hey!" And I'm just like,
"Don't beat me to the punch."
I'm just like, "Yeah, good thing I didn't start swinging."
Yeah, no. So then John turns to me and is like, "Can I help you?" And I take off the mask and he's just like, oh my God, it's you. And he gives me a big hug, hard enough that it knocks the mask off of my head onto the floor, shattering it.
Yeah, he broke now.
Yeah, so this mask broke within an hour of me getting there. Within 10 minutes, really.
Yeah,
but
it was fast.
So that was fun. I surprised everybody. I'm pretty sure Marissa's first words to me were "screw you."
Yeah,
no, it's because I had hung out with you the weekend before, and you're like, "Yeah, I'm like, I wish I could go," and you're pulling all this, and then I looked at Jesse.
Actually,
no, it was you. It was actually Jesse, and Jesse's just sitting there grinning. So, a little backstory on this. So, our room, we've had like roommate issues. Like our like seventh man was just constantly going in and out. And Jesse, like a couple of days before, I'm coming home from work. She's like, I have someone, they can only stay Friday and Saturday. I give her a thumbs up and I'm like, okay, I'm driving home. I don't care who it is. I ask her who it is. And she's like, well, they want an anonymous, ironically enough, you and the anonymous mask. And Jesse the entire time was just like, yeah, they went to like their UNCG student, like didn't say they were or were going. So I was like, okay, there's someone we know. And the only thing Jesse let slip was gender for like bedroom sleeping purposes, because it's a room full of girls and then like T. And I was like, do I need to move like T onto the different bed? So she let me know. So I was like, okay, there's a guy. And then Ryan shows up and I was like, I hate both of you, because Jesse just does this little like shitty grin of just like, like I knew this entire time, and our entire like hotel group was like, what? You
See, in my
hear
defense,
me.
also, I didn't actually know when I saw you that I was going to be doing. I didn't decide that until
True.
like Monday. But yeah, so that was
word
fun.
a little word of caution for those listening at home. You know, I think everybody knows this, that 99.9% of the time, if you're at an anime convention, do not ever go up to anyone and grope them pretty much with or without their consent in a group of people. However, with
this was an
these-
exception because
with
like
with these very, very specific criteria going on, I think this is the 0.1% in which that was acceptable.
yeah. I was like, I was really tempted. I was so tempted to not even just say anything and just walk away.
Oh,
No,
man.
that would
Oh,
have
that
been so
completely walk
bad.
away.
Jeez.
But
We
like,
would've had
John
a-
would have had a
I would have
story.
actually hit you.
Well,
Yeah,
you
we
would have
would have
felt
had a
really bad
convention
quickly after.
security threat going on right then.
That's accurate, yeah. But anyways, like getting there was fun. Fun as it was, like getting there alone and seeing all you guys was great, because I haven't seen you guys in like a really long time, since I don't even remember when the last time was before Ichi.
Long time.
Yeah. So it was the first time that like we were all like together, and it was great. So on the topic of last minute getting there, I didn't apply for panels either because I wasn't going. So I didn't apply for panels. I really wanted to do panels because I wrote the end of the year gaming article and I wanted to turn that into a panel, but I was like, it's really only viable at Ichi, but I'm not going this year, so okay, whatever. And I have my Anime That Saved Anime panel that I always like to do. So I contacted the head of the panels and I said, hey, I didn't know I was coming. I came. Can you give me any fill-in slots for panels? Because I would love to fill in for any missing slots. And he was like, all right, we don't have any cancellations yet, but give me your number. I will call you if we have anything. So I said, okay, great. I gave him my number, really not expecting to do anything. But I kind of had an inkling that I might get lucky. So we went up to the room later that night and I just started working on the actual PowerPoint for my gaming and review. And I'm really glad I did. Because next morning I got up, went to my friend Sarah's fan fiction writing like a professional workshop, and just kind of sat in the back and finished the panel. And it was very basic. It was very simple because I didn't really expect to actually do it. Then we walked over to Tobias's Calamity Canon panel, and in the middle of it, I get a phone call. And I normally just ignore phone calls that I don't know the area from, and it was an Ohio number. So I ignored it, and I got a voicemail, and I was like, okay, maybe I should listen to this. And I never listen to voicemail, so it was kind of like fate almost. I listened to the voicemail, I hear, hi Ryan, this is Ichibancon staff, and I was like, oh shit! And I got up and walked out and sprinted to Con-offs, and they were like, hey, yeah, we have a panel in like 3 hours. Do you want it? And I was like, yes, I want it, even though it's Marissa's panel slot and also Jesse's panel slot. But so I got to do that. It went great. Everybody had a lot of fun for a last minute panel. I actually almost filled the room, which I was really happy about. Got compliments on it. Then about an hour later, I get another phone call. They're like, hey, do you want another slot? And I was like, yes, I want another slot. And they said, great, it's a 2-hour slot at midnight. And I said, awesome, give it to me. So I did my Anime That Saved Anime at midnight, and everybody thought it was the Weird Side of YouTube panel and thought I was making a joke, apparently, when I started. And they were like, oh, you're serious? This is not that panel. And I was like, no, that panel got canceled. This is me. They were like, whatever, we'll stick around for this. It seems cool enough. And I apparently like introduced two people and they're trying to find each other on Facebook now, which is like really funny. But yeah, that aside, I've never done last minute panels like that before and had them actually go well, because I normally like to practice and I had no time to practice. But I was really glad about it. We all got positive feedback from the con staff, and when I went to get my reimbursement, they were just like, yeah, thank you so much for filling in. We will be looking for you at Triad. Hashtag shameless self-plug, we're going to be at Triad.
Yeah, you will.
So yeah, that was pretty much my con experience this weekend. That and Tobias, Edwin, and I created the first screening room since I don't even know when. Outside of room 5
the
and
gorilla
6.
screening room.
The gorilla screening room, yeah. My friend Edwin had a projector for his cell phone, and there was a blank wall that nobody was standing in front of. So we streamed Pop Team Epic on the wall, and everybody, what?
As you do.
Yeah, as we do. And everybody just like crowds around and is like, what? And we were just like, hey, it's screening room 1.
You know, I do hope that Edwin and you know, us by extension sort of create this whole brand new culture of like guerrilla screening and guerrilla paneling at conventions where people just like just set up, you know, their screening rooms. It's going to be an absolute mess. People just set up their little screening rooms and bring their projectors into the hallway and just be like, here's some anime.
Enjoy.
Exactly.
You've already got
Really,
people like
I honestly hope though that guerrilla paneling doesn't happen, because like I trust myself. I know I can do it, but like other people, I don't trust other people. Like
Here's
I
my
trust-
impromptu lecture about why you should watch One Piece. Thanks, Bill Foreman.
No, and like I'm pretty sure that's pretty much how I came off to some people in the anime that saved anime. I'm like, yeah, here's my impromptu lecture on why this show saved anime, and you're all gonna listen to me.
And they did.
I mean-
Yeah, it was
And
fun.
they did, you're right.
Yeah, it was fun. We had a lot of fun in that panel, and it was like a lot. It was a lot better than when I did it at ARC, because it was a lot looser, and I was dressed in a monkey suit, which that sounds like a really weird sentence if I wasn't at an anime con. But
A very literal monkey suit.
yeah, I was dressed up as a monkey, and everybody was like, "Why are you in the monkey suit?" And I was like, "Don't ask questions."
This is my
Yeah,
panel.
and, there's
Yeah.
a larger political, you know, climate that goes along with your monkey suit, and I think people should really look forward to going to thirdimpactanime.wordpress.com to read the press release about a very important political event that happened at Ichibancon.
Yeah, I pretty much like created world peace.
Yeah, Ryan had a very eventful weekend.
Yeah.
Also,
I was also the photographer going around asking people for pictures, so you probably ran into me a little bit if you were a cosplayer or just doing something funny in general. I was going around taking random pictures, all of which are also up on our website.
Yes, they are.
and Ryan, I thought it was a bear outfit, not a monkey.
You and like every other person, apparently. Some guy walked past me and was like, "Oh, that's a bear," and I was like, "Bears don't have tails, dude."
And then he
Well,
turns
they have
around
little
and, like,
tiny tails.
and then you
Yeah.
hear him say, "Oh wait, I think that's a monkey." Like,
Yeah.
the person next to him, and you're like, "Oh my gosh."
I was like, I was really confused. I was like, why does everyone think I'm a bear? And then I looked in the mirror and I was like, okay, I can kind of see it if you don't see the tail, but like, it was funny.
Well, you were asking for it because you mistook that Tombo for a Waldo.
Oh,
He was
my
wearing a striped
God.
shirt.
Now I know.
That poor guy, and he was
He was
such a
so
good
much
sport
fun.
because he went along with it too.
Yeah.
He did. Shout out to that guy. I dedicate
shout
this
out to
podcast
Not
him.
Waldo.
They were so cute.
Yeah. This podcast is for you, Tombo.
Yeah, probably like one of the bigger highlights of the weekend, though. Not even really a highlight. It was just fun and like really funny to me. I've never broken even at a con before regarding like money, because I spent a lot of money in the dealer's room. I spent a fair bit in the artist alley, and then Flea Market Sunday came around, and I had a fair bit of stuff to sell, but I didn't actually expect it to move, and I sold almost all of it. So I walked home with like $200 net.
Including a bunch of floppy American manga, which people at anime cons just don't care about.
Yeah, the guy who bought it, this one guy came and bought it in one fell swoop from me. He's like, yeah, I resell manga. I'll give you $40 for everything you have. And I was like, deal.
I was talking about your comic books, but yeah, that too.
Oh yeah, floppy American manga. Yeah, I actually sold a fair bit of that, but I wasn't really in a rush to sell that either.
Nice.
But yeah, so all in all, I had a really good weekend.
Cool.
As impromptu as it was, and as I really didn't want to go back to work on Tuesday.
Same. Well, Ryan, you brought up a lot of things that I'm sure will come up in a little bits in our convention stories, but I guess we'll just go ahead to Tori to talk about some of your convention highlights.
Yeah, so I have gone to every Ichi but one since it started. So I've seen it like grow and like kind of form into what it is now, and 100% they need a bigger venue. The parking, I think, was everybody's annoyance over the weekend.
Oh god, it was so bad.
And the dealer's room has always been really small for like the size and the price of this convention, I think. So like I'm hoping that that's another thing that they kind of work on within the next few years. I just feel like I see the same things over and over until I go to like an out-of-state convention. But you know, there's really not much they can do about that because people can only travel so far. That being said, I like the venue where it's held because it's just one big circle. So if you lose somebody, it's very easy to find them again. Like, you know, you either just stay in one place until they walk back around, or you just walk the opposite way, and then eventually, you know, you run back into your pals that you're looking for, hopefully.
Yeah, you know, I've of all the conventions that I've gone to, like it's so much easier to find people at Ichi than it is anywhere else because
It's a big old square.
Yeah, exactly, and it's
Yay,
like
Circle Con.
Yeah.
It's weird when you put it in the perspective of like one of the best things about Ichibancon is that you can find people when you lose them. That's just such a foreign
Yeah, it
concept.
sounds weird, but like anybody who's been to a con knows just how nice that is.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
is,
exactly.
and like it always sends me into like a small like frenzy when I lose the people that I'm with, especially in a, you know, environment like that where there's always a ton of people and everything's crowded. You know, I like at least one person I know that I can cling on to. That way I'm not like, oh no, you know, I'm gonna die here at the anime con.
This is where I was destined to die.
It's no worse way
Well,
to be.
you know, and then, you know, when you're giving the speech at my funeral, you can always say, you know, Tori died like she lived, you know, small and sweaty and surrounded by anime.
Skeleton pretending to be a weeaboo girl.
But yeah, I didn't do much this convention. I just tried to take it easy. I didn't run any panels because I thought I wasn't going to be able to go at all. But, you know, my good friends, all came through. So I had a place to stay and I was able to get a badge, and that was great. Thank you to Tobias and my friend I stayed with. Y'all are fantastic. And I noticed this year, I don't know why, but it felt like there wasn't a whole lot of cosplay. And when there was, it was either, you know, 12-year-olds cosplaying Love Live or 12-year-olds cosplaying My Hero Academia.
I'll say that too. I did notice a pretty distinct lack of cosplay. Not to say that there wasn't any. It was just I normally see a bigger percentage of people actually.
Yeah.
Cosplay.
And the one thing that I was expecting to be really, really popular this convention, which was like, you know, Fate related cosplay, I think the entire weekend, I think I only saw maybe 4 or 5.
I didn't see very many. I only saw like a Saber, and I think I saw a Rin, but not much else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The kid that was cosplaying Simone the Digger from
Oh
Greece.
my god, yeah.
Just he inspires me so much. His existence, just being there, cosplaying that show that's probably older than he is.
Yeah.
which is weird to think about because we're all old people at this point. But that was great. I hope that kid's having a great day.
Yeah. But yeah, other than that, I think the most fun I had was Saturday night when we tried to order Chinese food and sat piled up in the hotel room watching Pop Team Epic. And I called John's friend a disappointment.
Oh.
Which I still feel really, really bad about.
Yeah.
All right, so Tori, if you're good, we can go on to John.
Yeah,
Oh,
go
boy.
for it.
Well, I gotta say, I've been to Ichi for about, I want to say like 5 or 6 years now. I've been there for a while, and I've got to say this is probably the most removed I've been from the con, and not due to situation, more by choice. Like, there wasn't a whole lot of panels I wanted to go see or a guest I wanted to hang out with. It was more really to see you guys because you guys are spread all over the place, so it's really hard to get all of you together in one spot. And that and Tobias hooked me up pretty well for the weekend, so it all worked out pretty well.
Mhm.
So shout out to you, Tobias. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I better say, like, you wanted to hang out with one guest the whole time.
Yeah.
Very true. Very true. But it was a lot of fun. A lot of good little moments. Ryan told one of them when he just came up and groped me. That was a interesting way to say hello.
You've been thinking about that for days now.
You loved it.
I will say we had a lot of like cool little moments that I will say we seem to have a lot of like touching moments more than in previous years. Like Ryan, I believe you remember when you brought both of the dinosaurs back to like Godzilla.
Oh my
and
God.
reunited the family.
Oh,
That was so adorable.
That's
And
my
Tobias-
absolute favorite pictures. Like, I
Oh.
created a bit of like a photo op because I saw this person in a dino suit, and they were right near the giant Godzilla kaiju. And so I was like, hey, weird question. Can you go hug that thing and I take a picture of you? And they were like, yeah, totally. So they just went up and hugged it, and then they stopped. And then this unrelated person in a blue dinosaur ran up, and I was like, can I get both of you? And they both were just hugging the giant Godzilla, and everybody walking by. This was in the main area, mind you, so everybody could see it. And everybody was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And like everybody was just like taking photos, and I was just like, what did I do?
And Tobias's reaction was hilarious when he saw the blue one. Like, what are these Yoshis now? I didn't know they came in different colors.
I thought it was perfect. Like, that was so much. That was so
it was
funny.
It's a real moment. And the other time when I was running to you and you took a picture of me and it's just white, like I am just shining in that picture. It's beautiful.
The flash went off and just reflected off of him entirely.
It's really amazing how white you are once you notice how much you reflect light. It's just incredible.
Yeah.
But
a lot of people may give Katsucon a lot of sort of iconography and like awesomeness for having that really cool gazebo, but I mean Ichibancon had a giant inflatable Godzilla. Like a little gazebo doesn't have anything
also
on that.
has a gazebo.
Yeah, they have a
Tiny
gazebo
one.
too.
Yeah, no, they have a
It's a small
gazebo
one.
too. I took photos with Marissa out there.
But it was cold out there.
It was very cold
Do
out
not
there.
talk to me about cold. It was freezing.
Oh,
We
boy.
also
okay,
did this
then-
at night, so it was
Then let me
very cold.
rephrase. Ichibancon has a gazebo and a giant inflatable Godzilla. Drop
There
the
you go.
mic.
Hey.
And a giant inflatable Pikachu and a giant inflatable Mudkip.
Exactly.
Oh,
I don't know where
okay.
they find these things, but I need to know.
Yeah.
But yeah, like for me, the con was filled with a lot of cool little stories like that, and just hanging out with you guys. Like when we watched Pop Team Epic on Saturday, which has got to say, like you've never lived until you tried to order Chinese food with 8 drunken babies. It
Oh my
really
God.
is.
Oh my
It really is
gosh.
an experience.
I'm
And
sorry.
also, speaking of drunken babies, shout out to Thursday night Edwin.
Oh my gosh.
I wasn't
Hey,
even there, and I was
hey, Do
experiencing
you want
him.
to see a selfie I took with Santa? Sure. I mean,
Here's my cat.
Here's why ping pong the animation is the greatest thing ever.
oh my gosh.
Bless.
Leave my
Also,
son
Edwin
alone.
at your,
Stop making fun of my son.
also Edwin at the anime that saved anime panel.
Uh-huh.
Oh man.
Good
Yeah,
But-
he told me, he was just like, I'm gonna make your life difficult in that, and I was like, try me.
He definitely tried his best.
He
He
did.
did.
Yeah.
All right. Well, John, you have anything else?
Just that I watched 2 of Tobias's panels, and one of them was the Breath of the Wild one, the Zelda one, and the other was your How to panel, both of which were very, very good. It was kind of cool to see your kind of paneling style because I hadn't seen a whole lot of your panels as of yet.
Right.
And I attended Ryan's impromptu ones, once as a prop, and the other because why not? So
I don't like the term prop. I like the term decoration.
Okay, decoration, actor, whatever. I
Actor,
was there.
there you go.
I was a participant, and it was kind of nice, honestly, to not be so panel heavy, and just kind of take in the con and just kind of enjoy where I was at. I didn't participate in the flea market. I was more you guys, but I did something that I normally don't do. I actually went to the dealer's room and bought something this year.
Oh, wow.
What'd you
Yeah.
buy?
Yeah, I bought 3 volumes of the Phoenix Wright manga. So 3, 4, and 5.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Are
right.
those the same volumes that you have in Japanese?
Maybe. I think I have 1, or I think I have 2, 3, and 4 in Japanese, if I'm not mistaken. But
Gotcha.
But yeah, and like I bought them because they have different stories than the games do. So, continuing the adventure.
Yeah, the manga's very good. I highly recommend it.
Oh yeah. That's why I picked them up.
Yeah.
Cool.
First time I read it, I was just kind of curious, and I thought it would, because the anime is basically the game, just abridged and better animated. And
Yeah,
I thought the
exactly.
manga would be the same thing, and I was like, this is actually
it's totally different,
really,
which is nice.
really worth reading.
Yeah, it's refreshing, and a whole lot of new stories. So I can't wait to crack that open. But
Oh, yeah.
all in all, really good. Not a whole lot of bad things happened, if any. Like, it was just a nice time, and I really enjoyed it.
No, honestly, I think this is the first con I've been to that I didn't hear some horrifying drama story.
Yes.
Well, at least that happened to us anyway.
No, in general, I always hear the whispers of oh my god, did you hear about the thing that happened in the dealer's room? Somebody murdered somebody, and con security was all over it. It was a mess.
And
I mean,
happens
there's
in
the
most
fire alarm being pulled.
Yeah,
out.
like something
Oh
like
yeah, the
that.
fire alarm.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
crap.
Oh, that's
yeah.
true, yeah.
Fire alarm in one of the hotels.
We
I
were
know
not
that.
there for that though. We were out drinking.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
true.
Which is why you
I
should
think
go
that
out
was
drinking.
Friday. That was Friday night, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Friday.
Yes.
Oh man.
Oh,
What was
Marissa.
Friday night? Sorry,
The
my
fire alarm?
Oh, the
Hey,
fire
Marissa,
alarm.
How was the
Fire
fire alarm,
alarm?
Marissa?
Okay, technically it's my turn next, but I'm gonna interject. All right, I was done. I had gotten out of cosplay. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go take me a nice shower, and I'm in the shower doing the foot test to make sure the water's not scalding or freezing cold. I'm like, all right, I got it to the perfect temperature. I gotta stick my head underneath. The back of my hair gets in the shower head. I hear banging on the bathroom door. Jesse's like, emergency, emergency. I'm like, does someone need to emergency bathroom right now? What's up? I open the door. I hear the fire alarm. I'm like, no, not now, please, not now. So they're like, all right, we have to leave. And I'm like, great, all right, go grab me things and I'll get dressed. And oh my god, it was so cold. I thought I was gonna get sick based off, even though my hair was damp, it wasn't sopping wet. I was wearing flip-flops and a light jacket, while some of the rest of our crew did not have jackets. And I was like, great, this is wonderful. We were chilling underneath the awning thing that's in front of the hotel, and then we saw the fire truck show up, and then they had already gone in, and hotel or con staff was telling us to get out from underneath the awning, and I'm like, okay. So we go and stand by the flagpoles until they finally let us in, and we just wait until the mob decides to go in until we went in, because I was like, nope, this is gonna be crazy. We walked back up the 6 flights of stairs because I was not going to wait for the darn elevator, and got back in and was like, all right, shower time, and just hopped in the shower, and then was like, I'm done. Was done. It was
yeah.
11:30 at night too, and I felt so bad because I saw all these parents carrying their kids down, and they were so disgruntled. Some of them looked like they were going to the con with their kids, some just looked like they were staying in the hotel, and I was like,
Either way, kids at 11:30, no.
nope.
Please don't pull the fire alarm unless there's a fire.
Please.
Even then, let the smoke alarms do their job.
Sure.
Well, they said, because I didn't see it because there was so much going on at the front, even though we were at the front. They said that apparently the person pulled the fire alarm not to be like, ooh, fire. It was jokingly.
Be an ass.
Be a jerk. And hotel staff escorted him out and
Good.
to a police car.
Oh.
Yeah,
good.
no,
I didn't know that
it's
part.
a crime. It's
Yeah,
a
it
crime
is
to
a
pull a
crime.
fire alarm. So, yep, he got arrested.
Good.
And I was
good.
like, oh, okay then. But that's all. That's the rumor mill. I didn't see it. All I saw was the firefighters
yeah.
coming out.
So besides,
going in.
yeah. So I guess besides one jackass who pulled the fire alarm, there wasn't any like big con drama. I guess like besides something that fleeted and got dealt with, which is good. I'm really glad.
Bless this.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, I guess Marissa, while you were, doing the fire alarm saga, I guess you can go ahead if John didn't have anything else he wanted to say.
No, I think that covers just about everything.
You're good.
Cool, Marissa. Let's. How was your con?
My con was fantastic, actually. Last Ichibancon, for reasons, was very drama filled, and this year I actually went with a group of my wonderful friends from college, so we were pretty chill about everything. But it started out a little stressful for mostly Jesse and myself because we decided to make cosplays for myself, Jesse, and Sarah. We all went as Token Rambu characters, and there's a lot of detail to my character, despite it being kind of simple looking in design. There's just a lot, and I couldn't do a lot of it without Jesse being there, so we had to rush it Wednesday night when she came in and had to finish some of it at the hotel on Thursday. So there was a lot of rushing around that, but once it got done, I was like, all right, this is awesome. I felt so confident in that cosplay walking around, especially with the two of them. We had tons of fun, and
I was their
I
personal
am hoping
photographer
to
Saturday night.
make my next costume completely by myself. Fingers crossed this goes well. It'll be for AZ, so I'll have a while. Hoping to do like a human version of Sidon, and then Sully being my Link.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah, you guys, your cosplays turned out really well. It looked awesome.
Oh,
You should be
wise.
very proud. I said you should be very proud.
Oh my gosh.
She doesn't take praise very well.
Nope. So much.
She gone.
So much she hung up the call.
Did you hear what I said, Marissa?
No, like my system likes to hate me at points. Can you repeat
That's
that?
fine. Yeah, I said the cosplays turned out really well. You should feel proud.
Oh, thank you.
We
lot
thought
of-
you like ducked out of like embarrassment.
No, for some reason my Discord
Well, I mean,
likes
they
to
didn't look that good.
My Discord likes
I didn't
to-
mean that.
just mute audio and just black out, so I have to disconnect and add back in. I don't know why it does this. But yeah, there was a lot of tears. Those pinstripes that are on both Jesse and I's jackets were hand painted.
Oh jeez.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, shout out
We had-
to you guys and Tori for being like the only members of the group besides Ryan in the monkey suit that actually did any cosplays.
Yeah, thank
Thank you. But when it came to paneling, I had a lot of fun with my Token Ramen one, even though it was really small. There wasn't very many people that showed up, even though it sounded like there was a lot of interest. On the Ichiban page, a handful of people came, but my Overwatch one on Saturday was filled. It was
Yeah.
crazy.
Yep.
I was not I was kind of expecting a lot of people to show up because of the popularity of Overwatch, but I was like thinking that not too many people would show up to be like, oh, this isn't like a fan rant kind of panel. We're not going to be talking about in-game stuff. That's like, no, this is a culture panel because enlighten you guys on things. So apparently a lot of people in Overwatch do like the cultural stuff behind everything. So I was like, thank you. Someone actually messaged me the other day on Facebook. We were not friends. He just found me. I don't know how, probably through the Ichiban page. So shout out to Adam Clark that messaged me saying that my panel was awesome. That made my day a lot. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hoping to do it again at another convention and do
Triad.
a no, I didn't apply for anything at Triad because of I missed the date unless we get the panel for
Gotcha.
things. I don't know, but I'm planning on doing like just a Shimada Bros version for AZ, hoping they'll let that in because it's Japanese culture. So, but that was just super surprising. Also, I ran into later on. I ran into like a mother and her little girls, and I saw them at my panel, and I was like, "Did you guys like it?" And they're like, "Yeah, we liked it a lot." And Mom's like, "Yeah, sorry, we had to duck out." My little one here, she went to the Overwatch photo shoot, but I really enjoyed it. I was like, "Yes, parent approval of
That's
my
good.
panel." So that was also made my day as well. But when it comes to cosplay, I agree with Tori. There really weren't too many outstanding cosplays that I've seen in the past at Ichi. Maybe they just went to do the cosplay contest or the masquerade, and that's all. And they didn't even walk around. But there were some. Not saying that there weren't really good costumes. It was just nothing just stood out as like, wow, that's amazing. So
The only one to me was the guy that cosplays Overlord, but I had seen him at Animazement before. He goes to a lot of the cons, and his cosplay is amazing.
The woman who did Vivi was amazing.
Oh yes,
Oh, I forgot about
I saw her from afar.
Yeah.
yes, that one as well.
No,
Shout
for
out to
her,
her.
like she came up to my booth at the flea market, and
Yep.
she was wearing a costume that wasn't anything really, but it was like a bunch of stuff thrown together. She was like, "Yeah, I was the Vivi yesterday." I was like, "Oh my god, I loved you. You were amazing." And I didn't realize that. I legitimately thought, this is how well she did it. I legitimately thought that Vivi was a little person, like not somebody just on their knees.
Right,
Did
right.
it that well, like you could not tell.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it looked awesome.
But I
Yeah,
like
she put
saw
like the
Vivi.
shoes on her knees and
And
knelt
walked
down.
around, you couldn't
Really-
even see her feet. It was incredible.
Really smart.
Mm-hmm.
But that was like one of the only like the Vivi I saw in passing, and then I didn't see it again. Like a lot of these that were probably like fantastic cosplays were probably out on the floor for maybe less than an hour or so. So
Yeah.
I must have missed if there was any others.
I mean,
So,
you see what you see, so
There were still great cosplayers though. Like I wish more people did it.
I'm very glad that that it seems like My Hero Academia is like the popular thing because it deserves it. It's a really good show. I'm glad it seems like older fans and younger fans are all sort of enjoying that together, and I'm really glad about that.
Yeah. Also, I think we saw a lot of cosplays from it because for the most part, like it's really simple.
Yeah, for sure. Lots
Yeah.
of Todorokis.
Yep.
No problem there, though. All right. So I guess moving on to Tobias.
All right. So, in my experience, I mean, I've gone to Ichiban over the past 4 years. I feel like it's something a little different. You know, I go to the larger anchor conventions here for a huge, grandiose experience. But something like Ichi has always been definitely more personal, more friendly, I would say. But I think like this year more so than the other years, that's definitely rung true. From the moment I got there to like the moment I left, it was just this like awesome personal experience. Just this very friendly experience.
Good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. There wasn't any like particular one standout awesome thing. It was just a collection of small things, kind of like what John was saying, that kind of really made the weekend for me. And
yeah, like it was a lot of personal moments for us this weekend, I think.
yeah. And I think that one of the things that I realized as I was leaving is that, you know, AWA have always said that that's my home convention. That's the one I grew up at, like first started going and have gone every year. But I feel like that as a home convention is kind of like your parents' house. Like that's the one you started off at. That's the one you know, and you're always going to have fond memories. But I feel like Ichiban's becoming my first adult home in a way, to continue that metaphor.
I feel that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's definitely different, very different experience. But in a lot of ways, I'm starting to really connect like with this you know, being in this new state. I don't know if I should say new. It's been a couple of years now, but you know, transitioning over the past decade or so. Personally, yeah, it's very different, but it's becoming my home in a lot of ways. I was able to connect. This is as we mentioned here, you know, there was some alcohol consumed, and I really haven't really partied at a convention in a long time. That's one of the reasons I made a point to do it this time. It's been a long time for me. So I think doing that and like really just goofing off with you guys and like drinking was just kind of what really solidified this for me.
Yeah.
Overall.
Your experience, though, compared to us, like you were actually a guest. You had like what, 7-8 hours of panels?
Yeah, I had seven total hours of panels, spread over 6. That's in my case, it's pretty typical. I generally do about 6 to 9 hours in general. But yeah, so I was a full guest here. I was able to provide that content for the convention in I guess official manner. But yeah, all my panels are really well. The tech staff was really professional. I didn't really have any issues at all. It's actually kind of surprising. Started off. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was just saying, yeah, tech issues only happened like once for I think all of us, and it was with me.
Yeah, I mean, there was really nothing going on there. It was really good experience. Just to kind of break those down right quick. Thursday night there, I did my 90s panel. Pretty typical. That pretty much is on autopilot. I kind of just go through that no problem. First thing on Friday, I did my 2000s panel. First time I've done that. That was brand new. And I think that went really well. I was a little worried being a new one, but went really well, really smoothly. I think people enjoyed it for the most part. That night, Surrealism and Anime had a pretty packed house for that. Last year, there was only maybe about 10, 20 people that showed, but I was one of the larger ones here, and I'm not sure if it's just that or me being a guest, but I pulled in several people. I would say at least 50 to 100 somewhere, just kind of casually looking at the audience that stayed for the most part, throughout the whole thing. And that was cool. I was able to show a little bit of new stuff here, like Devilman Crybaby, off to that audience, sort of introduce Yuasa. Moving into Saturday, I did Breath of the Wild Hyrule Fantasy panel that first thing that morning. Again, pretty packed house for that.
Yeah, fantastic panel on that one.
Yeah, I really enjoy doing it. Again, another really fun one there, just to go ahead and cover all the different aspects of the series there, and do it so in an entertaining way. And then I ended Saturday with another new one, Star Wars in Japan. For that case, I wasn't sure I would have enough material, but luckily I was able to fill the time slot. Everyone seemed to enjoy that as well. Got positive feedback for that. I was able to carry my new Porks on.
Most importantly for that panel, you got to show a packed house Daikon 4.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure there. I try to, at least once a convention, I try to sneak Daikon 4, the opening animation, somewhere on the weekend. I think I've done that for 2 or 3 years now. Like I make a point somehow, somewhere, to show I want it. But overall, I filled the time slot. It worked out. People enjoyed it. So I consider it a success.
Yeah. Panels all went great. There's like only one thing that I was kind of annoyed about, though, is like my impromptu gaming panel. The person before me ran over by like 5 minutes. So I didn't have time to prep because I was just like, we're just going to plug it in and go. We will deal with any issues as we get them because I don't want to like back up the schedule any more than it already is now. And my panel was impromptu. So everybody else did their due diligence. Please, 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 if you are paneling, end your panel 10 minutes before the end time so the next person can come in and set up.
It's proper etiquette.
It's funny because I say that in my paneling panel that all the people that go to there, I tell them, if you run over your panel time, if you run over your scheduled time, I will come to your house and I will beat you up. that is something that everyone should know. Don't do that. That screws everybody over. Nobody really thinks about it, but no, like make sure you do not run over your time.
Yeah, I was like, I normally am like nice to the people if they're like a little bit over, but this guy like annoyed me so much. He was just like, "Oh, I'm sorry." Everybody was getting into it, and I was like, "Dude, you're like 15 minutes over when you should have ended this thing."
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
You can all get into it together outside in the hallway.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, generally, like what I say is that you need to be polite but be firm. So like, I walk up there, I put my stuff down. If it's getting literally like a minute before the panel, I actually say something to them. I'm like, hey, I need to start plugging things up. And, it's really rude for them not to wrap that up at that point. So, again, don't be a complete jerk about it, but also be very firm that this is now your time.
Right. Totally.
Yeah.
Honor the schedule. Honor your fellow panelists.
Yes, Be respectful.
Yep.
But enough about us. Austin, how was your weekend?
Well, first, let me be the avatar in which Bill speaks about his day that he got to come up to Ichiban, because Bill doesn't really get to come to a lot of conventions, and Ichibancon is probably his closest one. And he was able to come up for a day, and it was really awesome to see him again. And I think he got to see everybody and all that, and he had a really fun time. But he wasn't able to be on this podcast episode. So he asked me to relay a couple of ideas that we can engage with from his perspective. First, he was really pleased about all of our audience turnouts for the panels that he got to go to, which I think were mostly Tobias's panels, and he was very pleased to see people coming out to that. And speaking of Tobias, he says that he wants to take a note from your book about how to cram as much information into a small amount of time as possible, and he was very impressed at your ability to do that.
Oh, well, thank you, Bill.
Yeah. He mentioned that he was kind of surprised to still see Fullmetal Alchemist and Ouran High School Host Club cosplays in 2018. And similarly to that, he was like, how is there still a Homestuck panel in 2018? Which I also have that question. And then he made an observation. He was like, he was a little bit surprised that there wasn't more like non-anime related panels and other content, because like, especially compared to like Animazement or Anime Week in Atlanta or other larger conventions, Ichibancon and TriadCon very similarly are kind of like they toe that line between anime cons and catch-all cons. They sort of toe that line a lot. So you will see a lot of panels about things that aren't necessarily anime or Japan related. But he was pleased to see a lot of panels about anime content, which I also share that sentiment.
Yeah, I honestly think the change in more anime content is probably due to the fact that the programming director changed in the past year.
Probably so. That definitely has something to do with it, I'm sure. And then after that, let's see. Yeah, that was pretty much it. That's pretty much all he wanted to talk about, and he wanted to hear about how our flea market experiences went. So, I guess we can talk about that a little bit. Even though Ryan, you kind of already covered that.
Yeah,
but
pretty much.
Tori, you want to talk about how you did at the flea market?
Sure. Yeah, I did really well. Better than I was expecting. I everything but 2 items. So, if anyone wants to buy an emo towel or an Attack on Titan Figma, hit your boy up.
We really just need to hold on to that Oraimo towel to be like the designated third impact like fire blanket.
Oh,
But
goodness.
anyway, no, I did really well. I wish I hadn't been so lazy, would have done this sooner, but I have a lot more stuff that I can get rid of, so I'm hoping to do it again at a convention. But it was really cool to just kind of like sit there and talk to people as they were coming through, and like I met, a person that was there who bought something off of me who super passionate about that series that I used to be super into. So being able to just like, sit there for 10 minutes and have a full-blown conversation, even though, she was buying something from me, it was really cool, and was mildly jealous that artists in the artist alley get to do that all day long. Because this is a cool way to people watch and move your wares, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's definitely fun, and I liked talking to the people there, like both the buyers and the sellers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was just really bad though, because like I got a little too, what's the word I'm looking for? Confident, because before the not the dealer's room, the flea market even opened, I already had people buy like things, like people who were also setting up, like the guy behind me like beelined because I was selling a figure that he wanted, and then like somebody else came and bought my manga, and then I was like, okay, I'm doing good, I'm gonna jump up really quick and see what everyone else is selling. So I had made $30, and within like 5 minutes spent almost 20 of it. Because I was like, it's fine. I still have a table full of things. If I've been this
at the dealer's room, I was able to pick up some really, really difficult to find Kingdom Hearts formation arts figures. Like they had the Grayscale, Cloud, and Ansem, and then they had a whole bunch of them. But I bought those two, and I bought the Riku from Kingdom Hearts 2 on the little like nobody flying thing that.
You're the one who bought that.
Yeah, I bought that.
I had seen that and I was like, I don't want to carry this around right now. I'm going to circle back and get this later. And then it was gone.
Sorry, friendo. Hey, man, it's in the family. Anytime you want to see it,
it's in the
just come to my house. Yeah, anytime. But yeah, those are really nice to find because you just never see those for sale anymore. Like you don't even see them like secondhand that much at cons. And like this particular figure dealer had like a dozen of them, and I wanted to buy them all, but I narrowed it down to the ones that I thought were the coolest and that I would enjoy the most.
Yeah.
But at the flea market, I sold one of the ones that I had, which was the Kyrie one, which I didn't think was that awesome. So it was nice to like see that one go and then bring some more into the family that I liked a little bit better. So it's a good feeling.
Yeah, if we're talking merch, I sold a bunch of Funko Pops I had, which I needed to thin out like really badly.
Yeah, you do.
I sold those. I sold a bunch of random just like keychains and stuff that I no longer wanted. Sold a bunch of old Loot Crate stuff, which I've been holding on to for like God knows how long. I sold some comics. I sold all my manga. I sold really well. Like came home with significantly less boxes than I went with, which I was really glad about.
Yep.
Artist Alley I thought was really good this year. I found a new artist that I instantly fell in love with because he crossed over like multiple series, and this particular run that he did was crossovers of Persona 3 and Overwatch.
Oh,
and those were really cool, and you never see Persona 3, and I was so glad to see that getting off. So I didn't buy any Persona 3 from him though, because I just didn't really, it was good, it just wasn't what I wanted. So I bought a print of Paya from Breath of the Wild from him, which was amazing, and she is best girl. Another guy I bought a Riku and Axel print from and a Persona 5 lanyard. Dealer's Room, I kind of went a little crazy in this year because I finally found the last volume of Kingdom Hearts manga that I've been searching for like so long, and that's Kingdom Hearts Final Mix Volume 1, which for some reason, that specific volume is really elusive. But I found it. So, got that. I also finally pulled the trigger and bought the complete Haruhi Blu-ray. Woo! I've been looking at for years and just finally was like, I have a job now. Give me that.
So which Blu-ray dealer did you buy that from?
The guy at the very end who has like all of them strewn across the table.
Thank you, Based Discotheque.
Yes, Based Discotheque.
Woo!
And it was only like $5 more than just the DVD, so it was like,
yeah, it was entirely worth it. And I looked at it and it has so many bonus features that like I'm gonna be crushing that really soon. So I was just like, I kind of want this, but it's shrink wrapped and I can't really tell if this is bootleg or not. And on first glance, I checked this with John as well, and I think Austin, you may have run this. May have run this by you as well. They didn't really look legitimate, and they were going for like full price and more than full price probably. And I was just like, I'm just gonna put this down because I can't really tell. I pretty much figured, yeah, they are bootleg when I went then to look at his games. I picked up a Game Boy Advance bin and picked up a copy of Final Fantasy IV on Game Boy Advance because that's the only version of that specific game that I do not own, and I love Final Fantasy IV. So I look at it and I'm just like, okay, $15, that's a normal price for this game. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, the label's off and the cartridge is off and the circuit board's off. I know how to spot fake games really well. So I ask him for an SP, I plug it in, and just like PSA here, if a game lags for a second when you're saving, it's 99% of the time going to be a repro card, because that's just how the circuit boards work. The game will like freeze for half a second and then finish saving. So it did that, and I was like, hey, so yeah, I'm pretty sure this isn't a legitimate game. Like, are you sure this is like not a repro card? And he's like, oh yeah, I do label refurbishes, and like is lying out his ass to me. And I'm just like, I wasn't talking about the label, but that's good to know. The cartridge is blatantly fake, and the circuit board doesn't have the Nintendo logo on it, so... And he, like, tries to give me this line. I call him out in front of the entire floor, and I'm just like, you are selling bootleg goods, sir. And 5 people at his booth immediately look, because I said it loud enough so everybody could hear me, put their stuff down and walked away. So I felt proud about that. The guy, the dealer's name is Jukebox Imports. So, con people, if you're listening to this, don't let him in your dealer's room, please. He sells bootleg goods. That is bad for you because it makes you look like people who don't know how to vet. And it's bad for the consumers because it takes their money. And that's bad.
Thank you, Ryan. That's a very important thing to say.
Yeah, don't let bootleg dealers into your cons. It affects your reputation.
Yes.
And it makes us very angry.
You realize that no, it's fake, and
right.
you have, shelled out this, sum of money for something that isn't legitimate. Like, that feels really bad, and you feel cheated because you have been cheated.
Right, and selling reproduction cartridges isn't bad on like concept, but the way this guy was doing it, he was lying. Like, he was blatantly trying to pass them off as the real thing and charging real price for this thing. So I was just like, no, this is not acceptable. I'm going to give a shout out real quick to this guy that I met at Heroes Con this year who was selling reproduction cards. I asked him about it and he was like, yeah, those are reproductions. That's why they're like $10 cheaper. And they were like color cartridges and didn't even look like the real thing, that they had like pretty labels and everything. And I was just like, okay, well, yeah, this is blatantly repro, but at least you're being honest about it. And he's like, yeah, I'm not trying to make money off those. I just want, those are games that are really hard to find and or are really expensive. And I just want people to be able to play them if they can't afford the real thing. And like only really collectors want to buy the real thing anymore. And I was like, that's true. And thank you for being honest about that. Like, that's how you handle reproduction cards. You make it very, very obvious that it's a reproduction.
Definitely.
Yeah. But probably my best purchase of the weekend, moving on from that topic, at the flea market, after selling a whole bunch of stuff, I bought a box of Exploding Kittens card game.
Oh, nice.
And I managed to get my hands on a copy of SNES Chrono Trigger. For a really good deal, and I'm very happy about that. And I plugged it in, and it's amazing, and I'm in love, and I finally have a copy of Chrono Trigger.
Nice.
I called my friend Will after I bought that and told him, like, hey, guess what I just got for a really good deal? Chrono Trigger. And I told him the price I got it for, and he was just like, I hate you. But yeah, so that was my merch in a nutshell. And TLDR, bootleg's bad. Tobias will come to your house if you like go over your panel time. I'll come to your house if you sell bootlegs.
Oh. I'm already on the way to your house anyway. I might as well just pick that up.
Yeah, just pick me up.
All right, so I guess I'm next to talk about my con experience, I suppose. So I think this was my 4th Ichibancon, not consecutively, because Tori and I weren't able to go last year because we were visiting the mouse in the old Disney World. But this year I got to go, and I got to do 2 panels, one of which I had done before, and one of which was brand new. The first one I did was my 10 anime movies that you may have missed panel, where I sort of go through a collection of 10 films that I will periodically switch out every time I do this panel. I think I've done this panel like 3 times, twice at a convention and one for Anime Club. And this time I talked about, I'll just go ahead and read off the list because it's on the website. If you guys want to read the full list, you can look at that post, but I'll go ahead and say it. I covered basically a collection of movies that is like movies that I feel that a lot of people, especially in like modern day fandom or 2018 fandom, like may not have checked out or may not know about. And I sort of want to do this panel to give more of those films like, recognition and give them their time to, be exposed to a new audience that may not have checked them out yet. So I talked about Lupin III, The Castle of Cagliostro, Project A-ko, MD Geist, Angel's Egg, Night on the Galactic Railroad, Vampire Hunter D, Bloodlust, Garden of Words, Millennium Actress, The Tale of Princess Kaguya, and Miss Hokusai. Probably out of all of those, the one that people had seen the most might have been The Tale of Princess Kaguya, which I was a little bit surprised by, but maybe
That's really surprising.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's like, it is a Ghibli film, but it's one of their more, like, I hate to use the word obscure because it got like a full theatrical release, but it's not really their like epic fantasy crowd pleasers that you normally expect from like a Miyazaki movie.
It's not their magnum opus.
Yeah, for sure. Like, it's not a Princess Mononoke, it's not a Spirited Away, but it's still a really good film, which is why I try and throw it in here, and to sort of get like Takahata to get a little bit more recognition, because usually people think of just Miyazaki when it comes to Ghibli, and they might not even know that Takahata is a person.
They think Takahata is Takahata 101.
Exactly. It's like, oh, he's the Dragon Ball Z abridged guy, right?
Yeah.
Which I say, yes, totally. Same exact person. MD Geist and Project A-ko got a lot of giggles. It's nice to be able to expose those to a brand new group of people, for better or worse. And then getting to preach a little bit more about Angel's Egg and Night on the Galactic Railroad and Vampire Hunter D is always a treat for me, because I love all of those films a lot for many different reasons. And then my second panel was 3, 2, 1, Let's Jam, the works of Shinichiro Watanabe, which was a brand new panel that I confess I made mostly during the week of Ichibancon. I mean, I had done a lot of research and I'd watched like most of his stuff, going into it already. And I knew a lot about Watanabe as a person through personal research, not for the panel, but sitting down and really like getting into the real deep, like, connective tissue about like what makes his shows really cool and what makes him as a director unique was a lot of fun. And to be able to present that to an audience was really good. And I feel like the reception on that was pretty good. I didn't get a huge turnout for that panel, but it was still really fun, and I think everybody enjoyed it. So that was really good to put on, and I am really looking forward to doing that panel more in the future and showing off like different clips from Bebop and different clips from Samurai Champloo, and maybe throw in some clips from Macross Plus and what's that Gundam series he did? Oh man, why is it blanking on me? But yeah, his Gundam series, 0083, Stardust Memory, that's the one. But anyway, that was fun. And let's see what else. Going to a lot of Tobias's panels that I hadn't seen yet was really fun, and going to not a whole lot of other panels, but going to some other panelists things that they were doing, panels, was nice, because it's always good to sort of see other people doing panels that you don't like regularly work with on this sort of thing, just to see what kind of panel interpretations there are out there. Like we went to one group's panel about what not to do during a panel, and theirs was really creative, and they did a lot of things that I'd never really thought to do, or had never really wanted to do, because I never thought I would be able to do it well. And they were able to pretty much succeed at what they were trying to do, and their content was really good. Theirs was a lot more informal, and I have a personal tendency to make my panels very like lecture heavy, very like talking heavy, and like lots of clips. But theirs was a lot more like audience interaction. I thought that was really cool. Kind of like Ryan, I went a little bit nuts in the dealer's room as well. Like I picked up another volume of the Kill la Kill Blu-ray, which is an Aniplex release, and it's always super expensive, and it's never not going to be. But some of those have gone out of print, so I figured I'd pick one up, and I got volume 5. I had volume 1 already because I bought that at Animazement a while ago. And Discotheque hooked me up with a out of print copy of Birdie the Mighty Decode, which I've really been wanting to watch, but it's been out of print since I think like last year sometime. So it was nice to find a copy of that for a really good price. And I guess funny enough, at the Otaku Flea Market, I saw it from a distance from where I was sitting beside Tori with my table and all my junk. And I saw it, out of the corner of my eye and thought, is that Attack on Titan Monopoly?
Oh, God.
Lo and behold, that's exactly what it was. And the lady was selling it for $10. And I'm just like,
what?
I didn't even try to talk him out of it. I was just like, now, buy it.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking. Like,
themed monopolies are normally like $40-$50.
Yes,
exactly.
That's what I said.
Exactly. You're all thinking my thoughts.
Yeah. We are you.
Thank you. But yeah, I beelined over there to grab it, and I asked her, like, are all the pieces there? And she's just like, yes, we've never actually played it. We just opened it one time, and it's $10. And I'm just like, this is mine now. Thank you, ma'am. So that was great. I was also able to pick up a pretty nice Evangelion like art book thing that had a bunch of like screen caps from like the end of the show. So like with all the like the really weird episodes and the Kaoru episode and all that were like featured in that particular book, and has a lot of cool art scans, a lot of cool like figure designs from back then whenever the show was coming out, and has some concept art in there too that I thought was really neat. And I guess just in general, like this was a really fun convention. Like I had a lot of fun with everyone, getting to see you guys all together in the same place for like the first time in a really long time. And so yeah, it was really good to have the whole crew together and just have a really fun weekend. And kind of like what Tobias and John were sort of getting at earlier, like a lot of these really big conventions, you kind of feel like there's so much to do and there's so many places you have to be and all that, and they feel like big like fairs, I guess, like amusement parks. But this one felt a lot more personal. Like there was definitely stuff to do, but there was a lot of downtime too for us to just sort of chill and enjoy the environment and people watch and just sort of walk around. And like usually I'm the kind of person that goes to a convention and I'll be interested in seeing like who the guests are and like going to their panels and going to get autographs and stuff. And not that I was like disinterested in the guests for this convention. They were actually pretty good. Like, for example, they got Dante Basco, who is probably most famous for being in Avatar: The Last Airbender as Zuko, and of course in Hook as Rufio.
Yeah.
And he's just not a guest you ever see at a con, like especially around here. Like I'm sure he probably goes to a lot of conventions throughout the year, but he's never been around here, and just the idea of getting him was really cool. But I never got a chance to go to any of his events, even though I passed him in the hallway, and that was kind of a weird, like surreal moment to be like, oh, like Rufio was like a character that I grew up with, like because I watched Hook on VHS, like on repeat throughout my childhood. And it was weird that for that moment I was like 1 degree of separation away from Robin Williams, and just thinking about that in my mind, like the moment itself was like hugely insignificant. I didn't even like speak to the guy, but just thinking about that in hindsight, I'm just like, oh man, what a strange thing to be able to say. Like, what a weird like chain of experiences. But anyway, it was an awesome convention, and really excited for TriadCon, because Triad is very similar in vibe to Ichi, and I hope that it goes just as well, if not infinitely better.
Yeah.
And, I've got all of you guys to thank for making it awesome.
No.
Yeah. So, who else bought stuff this weekend?
Oh, I did. Because I know you guys talked about it, and I'm just kind of chilling here staring at my lovely Surumaru figure that haunted me the entire convention. So Dealer's Room. Okay, so no one mentioned this, but Dealer's Room opened on Thursday.
Oh yeah, that's
that was
right.
kinda crazy.
Yep. I was walking past it, and people already had merch, and I know there's usually like those 2 dealers that chill out in the hallway. I was like, oh, that's where they bought it. And they're like, oh no, I got it from the dealer's room. And I'm like, that doesn't open until like Friday. And I was like, no, it's open now. So I ran in there and I saw this one dealer was selling Token Rambu figures, like the really nice scale figures. This thing is like 3 inches taller than my tallest figure, which is currently Waver. Thank you, Austin, for the Waver.
That was me.
Way back when. Was it you? It was like one of you.
I bought that for you.
You're welcome, Marissa.
You pointed it out. You pointed out. Ryan bought it. I couldn't remember.
I pointed it out and bought it.
I couldn't remember who did that one. I knew it was one of you two. But he's really tall. And Jesse was like, you are not buying that on Thursday. It is Thursday. That's like $100 figure. You are not dropping $100 now. I will hold like your wallet hostage until Sunday.
Well, what is
Sunday,
she now?
You can do it.
I said, well, what is Jessie now?
Jessie is like con mom.
Yeah.
Jessie's essentially con mom. She was like, I'm not going to let you do this. I was like, okay, I understand. So I didn't, and I kept staring at it when I would walk through the dealer's room, and she's like, don't do it. Don't you dare do it. Sunday comes around. I do the flea market, and I sell like a ton of stuff, and I'm in line for Dante Basco, and Jessie's like, dealer's room closes in an hour. I'm like, here, take my money. Go buy it. She ran and bought me the figure, and I'm just like, I have the nice scale Token Rambu figure now, and my life is complete, along with the tiny amounts of sit-on merch that I bought from the Artist Alley.
How much was it down for on Sunday?
How
much was it down from 100?
Well, no, it was usually it's like 100 and depends on the figure, but this one would like on like when it was sold online and sold in stores, it's about like $130, and I got it for about like 100.
Okay.
Yep. Dealer's room markdown price, and the fact that finagle for the fact that the box was a little damaged. I was like, nope. This box is fairly damaged. Get it down.
Cool.
Yep.
Well, I know Tobias has a Twitter question for us, but before that, does anybody have anything else that they wanted to cover about the convention before we move into that section?
No.
It was good.
No,
You should be there.
I think that's about it.
Everybody good? All right, Tobias, what do you have for us?
All right, so we got a single Twitter question here, or rather, I should say, a collection of questions by the incomparable Basil, the head Führer of Hamicon, which will probably be out here in a couple months here. We'll have to get that figured out, but I usually go, so we'll see. So first question, well, I should say most of the questions here already been kind of answered by the conversation so far, so we'll wrap up what wasn't answered. The first one being dub or sub. And I'll go ahead and answer this one. So me personally, I'm more of a sub guy myself, but I'm really glad that Ichibancon was dubbed in English this year, for the most part. It would make things very, very confusing to have to read all those conversations really, really quickly. So, even though I was able to catch everything and maybe the translation wasn't perfect, I was glad to have that.
I will admit I was a little concerned why they didn't hand out the subtitle glasses when I got my badge this year, but I mean, yeah, it turned out pretty well.
Yeah, exactly. The next one here, which panelist do you feel you could take on in a death match?
Charles.
Think so?
Oh, I could take
Poor
Charles.
Charles.
Think
Oh
so?
my god.
Yeah, I can
All
take
right,
Charles.
let's see.
Have you seen the level of energy this guy gives off? Any panel he gives?
Have you seen me?
I mean, I haven't seen you at full, like, Super Saiyan level 3 yet. No.
No, you haven't.
No, I have a pretty good feeling that even if all of us like form together in sort of this like weird flesh mecha, we still would not be able to take down Charles Dunbar in a one-on-one fist fight.
Okay, I'll be honest. I don't like the visual you gave me, but yes, I completely agree with you.
I
Okay,
don't like that visual either.
Well, now that you've put it out there, I guess, Charles, if you're listening, I want to do a panel now where you and I just straight up beat the tar out of each other.
Oh man,
I'd watch it.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'd go.
I ship it.
All right, so the next one there, and again, I could go ahead and answer this because this is pretty straightforward. Why is the sky burning? And as we saw on, I believe it was Saturday morning, it's apparently because Hawaii doesn't know how to test any of their missile launch software.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It was
that was Saturday, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's already very surreal waking up every day in America and seeing my Twitter feed, but having to walk around a convention and seeing things on the news in the in the restaurant area, man, that I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
But,
pretty yeah.
Pretty America.
I don't really have words beyond that, but yeah. What was the next question?
All right, the next one is how great is Devilman Crybaby?
Ooh,
I think
No, I've not seen it.
Yeah, I think we can probably just give a general review now. We're going to be doing a podcast on this very, very shortly to tell you all about how great Devilman Crybaby and this wonderful relationship between Akira and Ryo it really is. But I think it's really great. It's directed by Masaki Uasa, one of my personal favorite directors there. Gives the lens a very, very interesting art style here. I really enjoy it myself. Anybody else watching any of it?
Oh,
I haven't started yet.
I've seen Tori's seen a little bit more than me, but I'll just echo someone on Twitter making the very astute observation that like Devilman Crybaby makes anime weird again. Like it's just kind of this weird thing that if you being somebody on Netflix that has never really watched any anime before, and like if you start with this, then you're in for something that will probably change your life, like for the better or worse. But at the same time, like it's a really like the animation is really excellent. The story I'm really excited for. And it's just really strange. It's really out there compared to a lot of the shows that we get every season. And it's neat to see something that's like really artful, really weird, and really visceral, but still like with very high production value. And you can tell it's like it's not trying. It's doing all that sort of with a point, I guess, or at least I hope. I mean, I haven't finished it yet. But I know Tori, you have sort of mixed feelings about it. So do you want to talk about Devilman?
Yeah, I'm like 3 episodes away from being done. And I am definitely in a love-hate relationship with this show. It's definitely over the top, and every time I think it's calmed down a little bit, it doesn't. But I want to save a lot of my thoughts for the podcast we'll be doing.
Right.
Because there's a lot of context that I need to give to why I feel the way I do about it right now. So yeah, let's save that for now.
No, for sure. And so finally, just one more there. Did anyone try the Tide Pod Challenge at the convention?
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
No.
Yes.
Did they? Did someone?
Did anyone try
Me
it?
personally.
Hell no!
You personally tried one.
Tori won.
What's in your mouth?
They hired like a freaking football player to tell people why you shouldn't eat detergent.
Yes, I saw that. Oh my gosh! Like, how bad are things to have to hire somebody to be like, hey, don't do the thing.
I will say though, I love the memes that have come out from it. I've seen Tide Pod Oreos, which made me giggle.
Good
And also, I saw a thing that was like 1995. Oh my god. The next 20 years, we're going to see technology take off. Society's going to advance so much. 2017. We literally have to tell people not to eat detergent.
I've seen some good spin-offs on Twitter, like earlier today. Like one, for instance, was just a picture of like a Tide to Go stain pen, and it was just like, "Hey guys, check out my vape."
Oh god.
And the other one was like, "Oh, you guys are still eating Tide Pods? That's cute." And it was like a picture of a guy, and he had a bottle of like Ajax powder on him, like cut into cocaine lines with like a rolled up $100 bill.
So as much as the Tide Pod discourse is very, very important, I think that probably brings this episode to a close.
I would say so.
Yep.
Yes.
I guess in short, Ichibancon was really fun. Our panels went really well, and we're really looking forward to the next con, and that will be for Tobias. Where will you be at in just a few weeks?
I will be next week. I will be. I mean, I imagine by the time we put the episode out, it'll be in the past. But
Probably.
regardless, next week the the 27th, the 26th to the 28th, I will be in Birmingham, Alabama for Comic-Con, my hometown con.
Nice.
And for there, nothing in February, I don't think, for any of us until we get to the beginning of March with Triad Anime Convention in Greensboro.
We will all be at Triad, so come say hi.
Yep.
We'll all be a triad? Are you sure?
Except for the
yeah.
mouse sacrifice.
You'll be there in our hearts and on our backs.
Yeah. We're all
And
gonna
I
wear
may-
like a Tori shirt that just like when we all stand next to each other, it's gonna spell out "We love you, Tori" or something like that.
Aw, that's pure.
Or maybe like "Rip Tori 2017 to 2017."
You should just get a picture of her face and like stretch it out between like 7 different shirts.
Oh no.
Yeah.
As long as we don't all
Quasimodo
stand next
put
together
on.
and it spells like we love Orty.
Troy. Troy.
Troy.
We love Troy.
That wouldn't be the worst thing I've ever been called.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess that wraps this up, and I just have one thing to say to put this all to rest. From all of us here at Third Impact, for the love of God, don't eat laundry detergent, like, please.
Thank you, Ryan. You know,
Don't
in
tell me
these
that was
trying
Alex.
times, those are really the words that need to be said.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening. As always, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and on our website. Our Facebook page is facebook.com/Third Impact Anime. Our Twitter is TI_anime. And our website is thirdimpactanime.wordpress.com. And do you guys want to go through your social medias real quick if you'd like? My Twitter is @BebopShock, and that's the easiest place to find me. That's BEBOPSHOCK. Anybody else?
I don't really use Twitter, but I stream on Twitch sometimes, twitch.tv/1RDMgamer.
Tori?
You can find me screaming into the void at worstwaifu on twitter.com.
And
John?
you can find me occasionally on either Tumblr or Twitter at the Gentle Jan.
Anyone else?
You can find me on Twitter at Muse, the number zero, like the 0 number, and then ICA, or you can find me and the rest of my Token Rambu group, shameless plugging, at Token Rambles Podcast on both Twitter and SoundCloud and Facebook. So it is a monthly little podcast that we're doing talking about mostly Token Rambu news. For those of you who might be interested in that, go check that out.
And lastly, for myself, I'm on Facebook for my convention appearances at Reverend Tobias, and on Twitter at Reverend_Tobias, where I never stop posting.
Cool,
All
guys.
right.
Well, we'll see you in the next one.
Until then.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.